Hi, and welcome to Spread the Word to End the Word. Today we're going to get a different perspective about how the R word affects those we love. First, let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Conway, and I'm the life skills teacher here at CV, and I teach students with different abilities.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Golden. I'm an educational assistant here at CV, and I also have a child with intellectual disability.
I'm Mrs. Moore, and I am a substitute here at CV, and I have a child with Down syndrome at home.
Hi, I'm Katie Jack. I am an instructional assistant here, and in the summers I lead all sorts of different outdoor activities for people with disabilities.
Perfect. Well, we have a few questions that we'd like you guys to answer today, and the first is, what has been your experience with your student or child in the community, and what would you hope to see instead?
I know I experience some other, especially teenage age children staring at Jacob. You know, they probably wonder what's going on with him. They can see that he's not typical. And I guess I would just prefer it, rather than having them stare, that they would come up to me and ask me if they have any questions, because I would be really open with them and happy to educate them.
For me, I have a little girl, and she's very young, and when we go on playgrounds, it's hard for younger kids to understand why my daughter struggles to use some of her words and why she's a little hesitant to climb something high. And her ability to play is just like any other kid, but she's cautious, and I wish that, and I hope that in the future and as kids get older, they're able to understand that even though my daughter plays differently and maybe uses her words differently, she's very similar to them and can do a lot of the things that they can do and wants to be a part of their lives too.
All right. In the school setting, what have you seen regarding how students treat other students, especially those who have disabilities?
I think we've had both positive and negative. I've experienced a lot of positive with the kids that I work with in the classroom, but I don't also work during lunchtime, where I heard that they tend to be a little bit meaner to our students. I like to say my students, but they are all of our students. And I think that the kids don't understand that when they are doing things such as, encouraging a student to do something that they know is wrong, it is a form of bullying. And that student doesn't know when they go and do that in front of me or Mrs. Jack or any of these other teachers, that, they're the ones that are going to be getting in trouble. And so in that way, the kids are not being a true friend, and that really hurts my feelings to see that piece of it. But for the most part, in my classroom, I see kids that treat my students with respect and love every single day. So I see both sides of it.
Yeah, I love seeing some of our students with disabilities out in the hall, and all the other students coming up and giving them high fives and saying hello, and I hope that translates out into the community, in the grocery store or wherever they are. They see someone else with a disability and they think, oh, I've got a friend at school kind of like that. And so I'm sure that this person must be cool too, and I'll just treat them like anyone else my age.
What would be your hope for how students, or your child or the other students, are treated here at school or even in the community?
For me, I just want my daughter to feel like part of something and feel belonged and be respected for the things that she can do, and be able to be a part of a community, because she is part of the community.
Yeah, I feel the same way about my son. I want him to feel a sense of belonging, a sense of acceptance, and a sense of understanding, so that he can himself feel like part of something greater than himself, and he can learn from that.
I think when I think about the trips I lead in the summer, and I like to think that someone sees someone with a disability and thinks, or doesn't think, that just because they have autism or they have Down syndrome or whatever other disability, that doesn't mean that they can't also go camping or go rafting or go snowboarding or something like that, because your disability doesn't necessarily limit you in that way. You might need to do it a different way, or slower, or with a little more help from someone else, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it and that you wouldn't want to do it too. Because, you know, if most middle school students think it would be great to go snowboarding, so do anyone else with a disability. They want to go snowboarding too.
And I think the same thing. I think that all of these students want the same things as any other typical middle schooler. They all want to be loved and accepted. They want to be popular. They want to fit in.
Have a friend.
Have a friend. And so I think that's what's important to know, with just because we act differently or we might not look differently doesn't mean that they don't want the same thing as everybody else.
To end today, is there just anything else that you would like the CVMS student body to know that maybe hasn't been said, but that you would just like to leave them with?
I think to remember to build people up and not break them down. It's so easy to criticize somebody because they're doing something different or, you know, we think it's funny, but it's, you know, later on in life, especially when you get to be our age, we look back and we're like, you know, it would have been so much easier, and you feel better about yourself if you build that person up and make them feel like a friend. I mean,
Yeah, just remember respect. Always show respect for one another and for yourself. And the best way to respect yourself is to treat other people the way you want to be treated, so that you can be more likely to get that respect in return.
So these kids didn't always, well, they didn't ask to be different, and they don't want to be treated differently. And, you know, we're all different in our own ways, and we all want to be treated equally, no matter what our differences are, and we need to keep that in mind.
Yep.
Yep.
and I think that, you know, the next video that you guys are going to be watching is The Night to Shine, and I think that that's, you know, a way, as a parent, I know I want my child to feel special and have a special day or be able to brag about something. And I think that opportunity to have that night to shine gives them that opportunity to show everybody, I can be a good dancer. I could be a good friend. I'm the center of attention.
Yep.
So
My son attended, and he walked down the red carpet. He felt like a rock star, and he had the time of his life, and it meant so much to him.
Perfect.
Everybody wants to be that rock star and that princess.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your hearts with us, and enjoy the next video.